advanced processing units that are at the European level that exist. Anyway, we were thinking in terms of digital science, and because of digital science, the role of IT becomes more significant, and we're thinking that maybe in 30, 40 years, all of research will be done on computers. There would be a simulation of some kind or other, and therefore we would need to start planning today so that in 40, 50 years' time we would be able to do all of our research on computers. And there are specific things, so like the biotech people, the genetics people are doing their part, and then the ones that use big data, whether it's space or energy or other types, even agriculture, you know, they're doing it on computers more, and so on and so forth. So it all started with digital science, and then we went on to think that maybe there were other important things that would change the way we look at ICT in the future. Okay, so the two main lines are the systemic nature of ICT, which means that when it goes into anything, it changes the very nature of the system. No? And it requires then organizational change, so that is, once you get to know how to use IT for your purposes, then you change the way you do things, the processes, so that they adapt to the new way, and then you start thinking Web 2.0, you start thinking on new ways of using IT. And for that reason, we were engaged at a very early stage on this, and we talked to Franco about it. The IPTS is called the Institute of Prospective Technological Studies, so I work for that. And in Prospective Technological Studies, we did a lot of prospective work. Prospective work does not mean that you have a crystal ball and you look at the future, so it's not about that type of future, but you try to extrapolate, whether it is quantitative or qualitative data that you want to extrapolate, and look for future implications. And we do that normally into all of our projects. Anything we do, we also look at perspective in the next maybe 2-3 years if we have data, or 5 to 10 years if qualitative data are there. Okay. Questions?
How do you see the research getting close to the people, so to the crowd? How do you see that what you are doing will be known and the people start to contribute there? Because Digital Future started to grow into more something participatory, so that we want that everybody's voices are heard, and we are listening, we collect information. So you are touched upon many aspects, more the scientific ground, the research, and I'm wondering what would be your vision then to engage also the rest of the people who are not necessarily so prepared for reading scientific information.
Well, I can think of two things. One is get the research closer to the people. So what I'm telling you has already been applied in Korea. So, but it is a European idea. And that is a big Korean company has put its research laboratory in a mall, in a commercial mall. And what they do is, they are like consumer company, so therefore everything they produce, they already put on a showcase, and they let people, passers-by, come in and play with the things, which obviously has a double effect. It shows early enough to the whole world of advances. Advances are usually incremental, and so you have like a generation 1, then you go generation 2, and so on, and so therefore you let them know about these advances early on, but you also get their way of using it, the behavioral, so that we don't have any more surprises where you use like SMS, you know, which is a well-known example. You develop SMS for one reason, and then people use it for a totally different reason. So this is one way of getting science closer to the people. The other, you can divide it into two parts. It's people in general, where you already have a lot of science going into games and all kinds of things that all levels of society use. So there you have, on the one hand, accessibility, where you try to make an inclusive society whereby everybody has access to all kinds of technology. And the particular thing about it is getting it through to research related policymakers. Because this is a specific category of people, and the problem there is obviously that they have a political horizon of, you know, like 3, 5, 6 years, and research will probably give benefits. The impacts of research will probably be available in 10 or maybe even 15 years. So therefore, you need to reach them and tell them about these things. Yeah. And so it's all about communication. It's all about getting the message through, popularizing research, scientific achievements, and so on.
If you let me, I would like to ask you about your personal dream, your personal vision for 2050. How would you see the world, or yourself, or your family, or, I mean, what would be the most important to happen by then?
Well, I mean,
can be anything.
Yeah, it can be anything. The field where I have a feeling, not evidence, of more promise is health. Everything that is health related should revolutionize really the way we live. Okay, and it's in that area where I would consider most of the advances that are coming in the next years, where technology can make more of an impact. And I mean, yeah, I base that on the fact that in the last 30 years we've done more than in the previous 100, and so in the next 20 we will do more than in the previous whole generation. So that's practically.
Thank you very much. That was it.